Hello students. So yesterday we have discussed till secondary structure. Today we are going to study about tertiary structure of protein. The tertiary structure defines the specific overall 3D or three-dimensional shape of the protein. So the three-dimensional folded structure formed by the peptide chain of the secondary structure give rise to tertiary structure. And this tertiary structure is based on various types of interaction between the side chain of the protein chain. Various interactions like hydrogen bond, hydrophobic bond, these bonds, such bonds will be present. Examples include globular protein and fibrous protein. So globular protein is present in pepsin and fibrous in collagen. See here, the secondary structure it's get folded and we will get a three-dimensional shape, which is the tertiary structure. So here you can see various type of interactions such as hydrophobic interaction, then hydrogen bond. Here the hydrogen bond is present. Then we have disulfide bridges and ionic bond. So these bonds are present in tertiary structure. The tertiary structure is stabilized by all these bonds. So if we talk about the examples where all these can be present, in muscle, myoglobin. Myoglobin is a tertiary structure present in muscle. This myoglobin, it acts as a oxygen storage protein in muscles. So this is folded into a globular structure, which is described as the tertiary structure. And this protein, this myoglobin, it has 8 helix interconnected with unsaturated peptide chain. So myoglobin, you need to remember that myoglobin, which is present in muscle, is a tertiary structure. Then another example include GFP protein, that is green fluorescent protein, which is found in jellyfish. So in jellyfish, you can see here ribbon-like structure. This is nothing but the GFP protein, and this is the tertiary structure. The last one is quaternary structure. So the quaternary structure of protein contains 2 or more tertiary subunit. So here 2 or more tertiary subunit will combine to form a quaternary structure. One such example is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, it contains 2 alpha chain and 2 beta chain. Here you can see the diagram, the alpha chain and the beta chain. And here in hemoglobin, heme group is present. Heme group in each subunit picks up the oxygen for transport in the blood to the tissue. So the oxygen transport, what hemoglobin does? It carries the oxygen, right, in the blood. So this heme group, it will help to pick up the oxygen. See the detail of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, an oxygen transporter protein found in erythrocytes. Erythrocytes are nothing but the RBCs. So hemoglobin that is present in RBC, it has 4 subunit. As I said, 2 alpha subunit and 2 beta subunit, which interact with each other. The importance of this interaction is realized when hemoglobin is compared in function to myoglobin, a single subunit containing protein. So myoglobin that was present in muscle, it was single subunit, but hemoglobin it contains 4 subunit. Both protein have organic heme molecule attached to each polypeptide chain, which is responsible for oxygen binding. So both these protein, they have heme molecule in it, and this heme molecule is responsible for oxygen binding. So both myoglobin, it is what it was doing, it was acting as a oxygen storage protein, and hemoglobin is carrying the oxygen. So for this, oxygen needs to be bind, and this oxygen binding is taking place with the help of heme molecule that is present in both. But however, the multi-subunit interaction in hemoglobin confers unique oxygen transporter function, unlike in the single subunit containing myoglobin, which is an oxygen storage protein. But the function, it differs. See, this hemoglobin, it contains 4 subunit, and the myoglobin contains single subunit. Both contain the heme molecule, which is responsible for oxygen binding. But because of their subunit, difference in their subunit, their function is different. Hemoglobin, it acts as an oxygen transporter function, while myoglobin is an oxygen storage protein. Another importance is of quaternary structure is the deformation created in the structure of an RBC when the hemoglobin molecule undergo mutation to sickle cell hemoglobin. See, sometimes mutation occurs in human being. We have studied about mutations, right? So what happens during mutation? If mutation is taking place in RBC usually have biconcave shape, but if mutation occurs, they will become sickle cell. See here, this is normal RBC, that is biconcave, but if it is mutated, it will become sickle cell like this. So because of this sickle shape, the surface area has now reduced, right? So the person will not get sufficient amount of oxygen. In patients suffering from sickle cell anemia, that is deformed RBC, the RBC is not in their normal shape, the hemoglobin, due to an altered amino acid in its beta chain, forms string-like structure, reducing the oxygen carrying ability of the deformed RBC. See, in sickle cell anemia, the RBC is now deformed. The shape of the RBC has now been changed, and due to this, why it is taking place? Because of the mutation that is taking place in the amino acid in its beta chain. Hemoglobin has 2 chain, alpha chain and beta chain. So the mutation is taking place in beta chain, and because of this sickle shape, the oxygen carrying ability has now reduced. Hence, protein structure, it plays an importance bearing on its function in health and disease. So the structure of the protein is very important because it will decide the function of an individual, the function, its health and the disease in an individual. So this is all about protein and its structure.